right, good morning. Hey, how are you doing today? I'm just kind of taking it easy. Got my old 90s Bula hat on. I'm so happy to see you. I've got my hat on, and it's just kind of a fun thing to wear once in a while, especially when it's a little chilly outside. Kevin, good morning. Good morning, my friend. Got some snow in the hills. Got some snow in the ski mountains, so we're getting ready for the season. So I don't know if you tend to ski or not, but it's coming. It's upon us. It's getting there. Should I keep the hat flip up or right down? The visor's kind of all kinds of. This thing's about hat. You know, you can't find these things anymore, really. Kind of made out of unobtainium. But what's been going on, Kevin? You've got some coming Monday, right on. What's been going on? How are things going? Going well? I'm always a little concerned you can't hear my voice that well. But I think everything's been going okay so far, so good. Working a little bit on a plan for 2026. And wondering to myself a little bit about what that's going to look like. Things are going to get pretty, I think things are going to just get a little busy. So these morning rituals might be become a really important staple of my guitar day, you know. Like, they're important now, but they're going to become, I think, essential. Good Lord willing, anyway, you know. Got Kevin in the house. We've got but not much trying. I think I have the wrong glasses on this morning. Looks old. Not much trying to rest and keep my immune system in check. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's upon us, isn't it? That season. Robbie Smith is in the house. All right, let me throw a couple of party time emotes. We used to call these emoticons. Then we call them emoji. Now we call them emotes, you know. I've got to keep up with the times. And just tuning up the guitar so you haven't missed anything. And I don't think you miss. I mean, if you don't show up, I don't know if you're missing anything, because there's so much other life to be lived at the same time too. Do you know what I mean? All right, we've got some new blood here. Who's this? We've got a new commenter. Oh, M. Sarkar, kindly play Clam Down. Clam Down? Calm Down? Clam Down? Uh-oh. I think you're stumping the band on that one. I'm not sure what. Maybe, can you help me out a little bit more with it? I should know it. Hey, Ghostface 2, good morning. Hug from Brazil. Brazil, hola. Thank you for being here and taking a minute to say hello. Yeah, we're just working on the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm here every morning, and buenos dias. And we have this metronome working hard for us at 60 beats per minute. It's clicking away. Doom, do, diggy, do. And every weekday morning at 7:30, I have this on, and it's really been improving my own translation of rhythmic subdivision and rhythmic awareness in my life. And I know it's a very frustrating thing to listen to for some of us. That click is sort of like water torture, you know. Could be like therapy for others. I look at it as a business transaction. I agree to run the metronome, and it agrees to teach me about the time continuum to which I must adhere if I want to play with other musicians, right? If I want to play alone by myself, which I'm doing right now, I don't really need metronomic time. But if I want to play with some other musicians, then I need to start paying attention a little bit. Hey, Mr. Muff's back in town. What's going on, Tiger? Yeah, nice to see you back. It's appreciated, much appreciated. And if you're a guitar practitioner, you're in the right place. If you want to become a better person, a better guitar practitioner, a better human, a better... I want to focus on guitar and the way my particular approach to the guitar is, because that's what I'm nurturing. I'm nurturing my own particular approach to the guitar because I'm the person playing my guitar. And I want you to be encouraged to do something similar for yourself. Now, these exercises, why we might meet together, these exercises, these morning warm-ups, such as what we're going to start right now with fingers 3 and 4. Mr. Pasco, good morning. These exercises are done as universal principles which unify our fret hand and picking hands. And whilst we do this, we go ahead and we focus on breathing. So I'm going to just kind of lighten up my touch on the guitar and focus on breathing, off to fingers 2 and 3. Good morning. Mr. Jeffrey, good morning. Even the best guitarists can't hide that slight distraction as they try not to rap talk on beat. Yeah, it's a really important thing to do. I appreciate that you appreciate that. Being able to really get with your metronomic self is super important. For some, it's not important. It's not necessary for all. But it's like it's a path. It's a path. And once we, agree with ourselves and make agreements with the metronome, we can then really start to push and pull against, really start to understand time. And what does the element of time do for us? The element of time does something for us. We become somewhat more aware of time passing by and how to use it to our advantage to create rest, to create tension, to create ups and downs, and pockets of interest. They're like holding pools, like little deep pockets of water that are deep enough and clean enough to hold an Arctic grayling. And once you've seen one of those pools and the location of those pools, if you're a fly fisherman, that's a point of interest. And that's a point of interest I'm going to pay careful attention to. I'm not going to rush my way into it and splash my way into it. I'm going to gently approach it observing all that surrounds it, and integrate myself fully with the environment. And maybe, just maybe, I can present something the fish will bite on, right? And presentation is a large part of what it is we do. But it begins with the self, and it begins with a good, healthy, repetitive morning ritual for guitar growth. And that's exactly what it is I'm doing here. This is literally my morning ritual for guitar, my morning warm-up. And just working through 2 finger permutations at the moment, and trying not to over-press on the fretboard, because I like to play in tune, and if I press too hard, I'll bring those strings out of tune, even on an acoustic guitar, right? And then you can feel like when you take your strings, if you've used your strings like I do for a couple of months, I like to play my strings so they're broken in. And then what I do after every single warm-up, every single time I pick up the guitar, practice the guitar, warm up the guitar, whatever, record with the guitar, I always pinch the string with a lint-free cloth and I run that up and down the string each time before I set the guitar down. This is all part of the obligation, right? And so I pinch the string so I get underneath it, on the surface of it, and I run that cloth up and down the full length of the string. And you can see why I do that, because now you see what's going on here. You can see that there's a little bit of a black, there's some debris that we're taking with us. And we don't want to leave that stuff behind, because I definitely wipe down any part of the guitar that I touch with my hands or my skin. I always wipe down and then keep clean, right? So the strings could last a long time. I guess where I'm going with this, when you remove the strings, you can start to feel notches on the string where the frets live, and the string starts to kind of like do this weird things, and it becomes sort of impossible to tune the string at some point. And that's how I know it's time for me to change the guitar strings. But I really love the feel of broken in strings, but if I press too hard, they break in too soon, and they sound out of tune, right? So I'm slowly going to apply pressure to the string, and as soon as I stop hearing the buzz, that's as hard as I need to press in order to make the tone happen. And it's not very hard at all. You try it and you'll find, I'm sure you already do this, but all right, so Mark's on board. Good morning, Mark. Do you have metronome in background throughout? Yeah, that's a great question, Mohammed Uzair. I do, and I hope it's not a deal breaker for you. I hope it's something that you really embrace. But for some of us, it gets a little irritating, but I have to tell you, this metronome has changed my musical life. It changes everything. It's really simple. But here's what happens. So now we've gotten through fingers 2, 3, and 4, 2 and 3, 1 and 2. And we used fingers 2 and 4. Now I think we did 1 and 3, I think we did that. And then we're going to use fingers 1 and 4 on frets 7 and 12. So please join me and let's enjoy this exercise together, this worthy exercise together. Even the best guitarists can't hide that slight distraction as they try not to rap talk on beat. Yeah, that's right. We could give it a little bit of a swing. All right, what else do we have going on here? Mr. Jeffrey, that chromatic run practice brings me back, and I never got the 3, that version only 4. I think I was told by some people to call it a spider. Yeah, that's right, it's the spider one. It's a great party teaser, you know what I mean, party trick. I'm a new beginner. I'm playing guitar. Any advices on getting good? Corporal Clegg's in the house. Very cool. Good to see you. Great to see you. And then is that Dastan? Yeah, let's talk about that. I have missed everything. Corporal Clegg, you haven't missed a thing yet. You haven't missed a thing. Room, good morning. 5150, love that, love that. Someday, all right, let's say completely stop what you're doing. Give me all your attention. Start all the way over and tell me what's going on. Thank you for passing on your wisdom. Wow, wow, that's pretty cool of you to say. I really appreciate it. You know what? I used to think that. Let's talk about this. How to become good as a beginner. Well, to begin, we must first believe that we are already good. If we don't believe that we're already good, why would we invest in something that if we're already bad? You know, I have the potential to be anything, literally. I know this sounds hokey. I know it sounds sort of like so like basic and remedial, but you gotta believe in yourself. The first thing that I do in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, after I say ouch, of course, I put a smile on my face, you know. I put a smile on my face and I practice counting my blessings, because I do have a number of blessings in my life. I have a number of trials and tribulations in my life. I do. But it's important for me to count my blessings, right? So once I believe I can do anything, and I have to tell myself this over and over and over again. Fortunately for me, I had a mother who told me this from the time I was very young to the time, I think she still hints around at it. But I have a very good mom, you know, I have a very good mother. So that helps. And those of us who don't, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. But I know we overcome all of those things, right, if we need to. So I just start by practicing playing my guitar every day, making some time every day. Because if we're guitar players, what do guitar players do? We play the guitar, right? So this is important right here. This is super important. And we have to do the things, or I have to do the things that I want to do. I have very lofty dreams in my life. I dream one day of being able to execute every single thing, every musical idea I have in my mind in real time on the guitar. And to translate that in real time becomes a little bit of a challenge. I also want to learn the songs that I like from the artists I enjoy listening to, whether it's Eminem or Run DMC or Cypress Hill or John McLaughlin from the Mahavishnu Orchestra, or if it's Joe Pass or Jim Hall or Pizzarelli, it's Demiola, whether it's Whitney Houston. It could be that I'm supposed to learn from all of these different artists and all of these exciting disciplines, even if they're not to my liking. So I would recommend, number one thing, if I'm a new guitarist and I'm excited about it, and if I'm deeply excited and I believe that I have a future in the guitar, You have to believe that you have a future with the guitar. You have to believe it, because everyone else in your life, not everyone, but many others might tell you that it's a complete waste of time, right? So the first thing that we have to do is figure out how to believe in ourselves, right? And continue that resiliency, continue that internal dialogue that we don't always share with other people. You know, it's not like it's not like I walk up to someone and say, oh, join me here. I'm using fingers 1 and 2 and 3 now, right? But join me in this exercise. This is the other thing. Number 2 is play your guitar. You know, become a student of the guitar. Become a student of life is really what I'm saying, really. Become a student of life and, you know, absorb as much as we can. Pink Floyd included, you know, Corporal Plague, that's for you. Oh, Photograph by Def Leppard. Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Cody Drago. Excellent request. Excellent. Is it Coast School? Good morning. The senior request and play. It could be, you know, sometimes we go right off the rails, you know what I mean? And we do just kind of like a request hour, or what it turns into like a 10 or 15 minute episode of like, let's watch Jason go out. Let's get him so excited with song requests that he goes completely off the rails and just kind of crashes and burns and forgets all about the morning ritual for guitar growth. It happens, and so we do have to reserve time for that, like, you know, that discovery-based method of learning, and that discovery, we just have to be willing to let it go. And it's okay to let it go. I mean, I'm focused on being here every weekday morning at 7:30 for a very specific purpose. But it's also at the same time, I realize that, you know, it's you know, I don't need it to be so rigid that I forget what it's like to actually live a human life, you know. But I do want it to be serious, though. You know, I do want it to be a pretty serious approach to guitar. So it's not like if someone, you know, approaches me and says, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Like, what gives you the right to play the guitar while I have to go and do my, you know, slaving away? Like, you know, I seal driveways with hot cement or hot tar for a living, and what gives you the right to sit around and play the guitar? Well, pal, I probably sealed more driveways than you have in your lifetime. You know, I probably built more houses and hammered my finger more times with a 20-ounce California Framer Deluge titanium head hammer, you know, to the tune of where my finger goes smash and my entire left arm goes numb from the pain, right? You know, so I know the pain. I know I know what it takes to get up out of bed in the morning. I know what it takes, you know. And what I'm just doing now, I know what it takes to literally build and be there as a torch bearer to bring back a failed downtown in a capital city. I know what it takes. I know what it needs. I know how to do it. Done that, been there, done that. And thank God there were other great people around me at the time. But I'm just translating all of that, you know, I'm just translating all of that hard work and thoughtfulness and diligence and that intermounting flame to the world of the guitar. And that's a little bit like what it takes. You know, you got to get up out of bed in the morning. You got to stay up a little later at night. You know, you got to do whatever you think you need to do to follow your plan so far as you can without injury to yourself. You want to mitigate injury to yourself, of course. So let's go ahead and do these 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal patterns. By God, this man might do it. Photograph is badass though. Photograph is a good song. You know, I haven't played any Def Leppard in a long, long time. And have you, all right, let me ask you this. Have you heard the newest recordings where they like worked with an orchestra and then they redid all of these old classics like Photograph? And have you heard that recording? Like, I love the newest, Def Leppard record. It's like a black and white cover. What is the name of that album? It's the one just before the orchestral sort of record. But I'll tell you what, it's like true mastery of like the recording engineering is amazing, the musicianship is amazing, the songwriting is amazing, like the wordsmithing is amazing. Everything about it is like so spot on. And you're gonna make me go listen to it, aren't you? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Bro, could you play Golden Brown California Framer? Yeah, you use a California Framer. Yeah, I do. I have been there, done that. Big old stick. Let me see that forearm. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, man. I used to put these like the suspenders on, and you had the big pouches and pockets, and I'd carry like a whole day supply of. I'd never go back to the truck because I have a supply of nails. You know what I mean? I have everything I need on my person. That's what being prepared is all about, right? So that's kind of like what we're doing. So let me go and figure out what that new record was, that Def Leppard album, and then if you haven't heard it yet, you got to check it out. It's definitely, it's super, super good. All right, Diamond Star Halos is the name of the album. If you haven't heard that album in its entirety yet, Diamond Star Halos is that black and white one with the third eye in the middle. That is an amazing album. And then the one just next to it, the Drastic Symphonies, is probably up there in one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. So if you haven't heard the new stuff, I would just go and absorb what I can of that. Let's take a look at what's happening with Photograph. That's what I thought it was. I think I've got to get it right. I didn't get that quite right. That's right. That's what I love about these guys. I just love the fact that they're just so good at what they do. And they don't care if they have like, they don't care if they play like something really simple. They're just working on serving the song. So 1 and 2, 1, 2 and T and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So go ahead and check out that record's obviously a great one. But the other record that's really great is that, you know, follow the one that they did in 2023, 22, and just amazing stuff. Let me know if you do listen to those records because they are super, super good. Diamond Star Halos, like make sure we listen to from the beginning through to the end. just an amazing hit of a record. The whole record is just amazing. And then the Drastic Symphonies. So their last two albums, 22 and 23, highly recommend. Yeah, highly recommend. Like, the tones are just superb. Everything about those records are just so good. Bro, could you play Golden Brown? I don't, which Golden Brown is that? Am I missing that? I think I'm going to need a little help with what song that is, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, that's what, yeah, can you drive one with one hit? I can, and I was doing it, we were building Subway sandwich shops once upon a time in a previous lifetime. We built them all, you know what I mean? We'd build all the new build outs, and so we'd, you know, we'd pull 56-hour shifts to the point where, to the tune where you'd be standing there in the middle of the room, and you'd be like watching the freezers roll in and the coolers roll in, and then just be standing there tripping out just due to lack of sleep. But you got to keep pushing it down. When the stores close, you're not making money. We need to be making money, so you got to keep the show rolling, man. But it's a really important thing to do. You transfer a lot of that get up and go, a lot of that grit. I know Kevin knows what I'm talking about. You transfer all of that grit that you've got in your life. You transfer it all into developing ourselves as guitar practitioners, and that's one thing that's another thing that I'm thankful for every morning when I wake up. I thank God that I've been gifted with these experiences of actually hardships, but they're character building hardships, you know. And I'm so thankful for any little bits of those. So I was trying to, the first time I tried to drive a 16-penny nail home with one hit, I had my thumb in the wrong space, and then I just ended up missing the nail head, or glanced off of the nail head, corporal plague, and I smacked my thumb. And I'll tell you what, that is a pain unlike, you know, immediately right into the red, you know what I mean? You kind of lose your vision a little bit, lose your sight a little bit. You can play Spanish song. Hey, good morning. We're gonna have to, maybe if you continue along with that, maybe we'll put you in a little timeout. But that's cool. I appreciate that, K-Series podcaster. You definitely know how to make yourself known. Sometimes that's what it takes, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and do this 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a little bit of what's happening here is if we start getting tension in the body, it starts to restrict what we do. So if we start lightening up, those techniques come more easily. That takes a long time to sort of learn and recognize. Like if I stop breathing, if I tighten up, it really starts to choke out my tone. And so those techniques are super, super important. That's the only way I can learn those. So those deep, sort of valuable techniques is to play with the metronome every day, right? It's just, there's no other way around it, unfortunately, for a guy like me. I need to go through the motion. I need to do the thing, you know, in order for it to work. Smoke on the Water. Peter White, All of Me. That's a great one. Yeah, right. Yeah, that Smoke on the Water's got, that'll get you going, for sure. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see? There it is. I'm no good without you. You take my life. Right. I'll never use them. Your goodbye fill me with your goodbye. Fill me eyes like that. Trick boy, how could I? Down the bone, pop it in bed, maybe the one flat 3-2, flat 2, you know, turnaround is always kind of cool. The typical turnaround is 1, 6, 2, 5, and then 1. Oh, what is that? Yeah, really great stuff, really great songs. Those things that we do with songs like All of Me or All the Things You Are is just kind of like practice those arpeggios that we know, you know? We do a lot of those things, right? So those are great songs to kind of know and stick in our practice sessions, because that comes after we warm up a little bit, you know what I mean? If we stop breathing, you know, it starts to fall apart or whatever. But let's get right back to, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for raising those songs. Those are great, great pieces of music. We all should know, you know. Hello, I just subscribed to your channel. You are very good guitar. Hey, The Random Side. Good morning. Thank you very kindly. Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us and following us along this journey. The inner machines of Jason's mind are an enigma. Good luck breaking that code, my friend. I love Dadgad. Dadgad's super cool. Can you show how to do Pompeii rhythm? Oh, that's a really great question. Let's come right back to that. We're getting a little bit over where I need to do a stretch. And then, so I do need to return to, and I really appreciate, I hope you stick with us. I hope you stick here. And you continue. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30, and this is something that we do every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm doing this for the entire year of 2025, and we're making plans, for our New Year's resolutions. My plan, I have some lofty goals for 2026. 2025 is not done, and we're going to see 20,000 subscribers here on the channel shortly. And then, we have a big year. Things are going to start to kind of I think, just get really serious for me about guitar. A lot of things are coming together. A lot of things like the breath is coming together. My reflexes have been improved from spending a year doing this. Like literally, if I have, a toothbrush falls out of the cabinet, I can catch it before it hits the floor. Those little things, those little neuroplasticity benefits, they're definitely coming. The more we sit down with the metronome and approach the guitar, all of this stuff improves our lives in so many other disciplines that we don't even calculate, or we don't even account for. So our findings at the beginning of the year, I'm going to stretch while I talk to you about this. So we did together, there have been several guitar players who have been with us from the beginning, and several who have stayed and who are going to be here through to the end of the year. We did our first video, and then we're going to do our last video of 2025. So the first video of 2025 and the last video of 2025, we're going to compare the two and see what 260 hours of warm-up time looks like when we compare where we were in January 1 and where we are in December 31 or whatever. We're really going to analyze and drill down and really take a solid look for probably a month at what are the benefits. We're going to spend time identifying why it's worth sitting with the guitar. And what else happened in the life? What else happened in our lives that were unintended consequences, Maybe some of us lost a job because we sat around and played guitar too much. Maybe some of us gained in ways that we didn't expect to gain by being guitar practitioners. So this is definitely, like I said, Kevin can attest to this. This is not a show about vanity or numbers or let's hurry up and get people, let's create a scarcity of product so people want to just be here before it's gone. None of that hoopla. It's just a simple, just one little guy's effort to, I've never seen anyone quantify what it means to practice for 260 hours. What do you get from it when you warm up for 260 hours? Nobody ever, everyone says that, boy, Jimmy's a really talented person. Jill just plays the guitar so easily. Look at her go. And I wish I had that kind of talent and skill. Well, if you wanted to be one of the world's best trial attorneys, you don't just show up and be one of the world's best trial attorneys, you know what I mean? You got to read all of the case studies, the case law, you've got to familiarize yourself with all of the repertoire, that body of work. I think it's the same with the guitar, don't you? Yeah, and it's equally as valuable for so many reasons. But I don't need to tell you that. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. What's next in store for us? We haven't done these pentatonics since yesterday, so let's go ahead and just work through this 4 notes per beat situation. And so I keep referring back to a principle, a basic tenet, a basic principle, and it says the world is run by those who show up. And I think that relates to what we are doing here today and every day. You know, showing up with a guitar in hand, being a guitar practitioner is so important. Like, I don't know if you have any ideas about why it's important to you, or why it might be important to your community, or why it's even important at all. But I know playing the guitar is a super important thing to do. And then maybe you can answer that for yourself. So fingers 2 and 3. Let's do position number 2, shape number 2. If you don't yet have my Pentatonic binder, my free Pentatonic Systems binder, you can email me if you'd like to have it for free. I'll send you the link. You can email me at grow, G-R-O-W, at jasoncareyguitar.com. And of course, you can email me at any time. You know, email us anytime you'd like. Grow at jasoncareyguitar.com and say, hey, I'd love to have that PDF binder about the pentatonic system that you are talking about this morning. This pentatonic system will build on it. These things get updated, these things build, you know, so as you absorb these things, the next piece of the puzzle comes along. Hopefully, right? Sometimes the next piece of the puzzle takes a little longer to rear its head than we expected. And that's where patience and then perseverance and the faith, systems of faith come in, you know. All right, where are we at here? I've got, keep distracting him, it's working. Yes, right. My accuracy with the pick has greatly improved. Ooh, let me take a screenshot of that, Kevin. Do you mind if I use that on my my YouTube, the community post page and on the website? That's a great testimonial. I appreciate that. As I sat around playing guitar 2 years ago, I've been living off savings, playing every day, making no money. Oh man, I know how that goes. I know exactly how that goes, my friend. But I think it's a good thing to do. And then you know, if you have the skills, you can go busk in the streets. You can go play a gig. You can you know, go work an office gig. You can do any number of things. Like, what is it that you find about the guitar that some of us just show up for the conversation, for the camaraderie? Some of us show up because we want to, you know, we might not know it, but we want this shape number 4. And we might want to play an open mic one day, and that day might come sooner than later. And then if you do, so I have some friends who, super musicians, and they're a duo. They're called Perpetual Emotion, and you know, I recorded, you know, some of their, you know, blah blah blah, and they, in order to get off the ground, even though they were sort of really well practiced and really well known people and musicians, they would just show up with their kit and set up at open mics. You know, they would just go all over the place to different open mics and expose people to what it is they do, get people talking about what they do. And just sharing, the simple act of sharing cannot be underestimated. The simple act of sharing with others. Sharing the goodness and sharing what the craft that you, it's like a good apple pie, right? A good apple pie, good pumpkin, or if, you know, I'm talking like a good red velvet cake or a good like sweet potato pie. it's the same thing. Like if you know if there was love in that pudding, right? You know that if whether or not someone made it with love or whether just kind of like threw it together and get it over with, get it in and out of the oven or whatever. There's a difference between those who chef with love, right? Big difference. And then you can tell, if you've eaten enough of those, which I have, you can tell the difference. The same thing works with musicians, right? The same thing applies there, I think. There are those of us who just, want to become a robot and just play 16th note triplets at 120 beats on the metronome. And that's cool. I'm one of those people myself, but I don't want to lose the melody, the art of melody along the way, because that's one thing that we have as humans, is the ability to create something human. And then melody, and then harmonization of the melody. Those are all things that are specific to our species, If you've ever been out in the mountains and you are out there overnight, sleeping out on bivouacking on a mountain somewhere, and you hear when the sun comes up, you hear the morning song for the first time. You know that we're not the only ones really making intelligible music. We're not the only civilization here, and I think just connecting with those things can make a big difference sometimes. So anyway, I'd like to, if you've been here this whole time and you'd like to close up shop with me, I wanted to take a quick look at, we started yesterday, where we started like on our storytelling kick. So we started with like the C major chord. Of course I have to tune up a little bit because I've been stretching these strings. All right, let me talk to you about how that works. There we go. You made it worse. It's pretty easy to make it worse, you know what I mean? Bear with me just one moment. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Corporal Clegg. And remember sitting, every time this comes up, you know, I'm sorry to bring this out, but every time this comes up, I'm reminded when I was sitting on the street corner myself with a friend who was, well, a newfound friend or brother and as a human, right? And we're both sitting on the street corner. And enjoying the freedom of just being unbound or otherwise unobligated. And looking across the street, we're in an urban area and there's pavement, you know, you know, there's some paint on the roads delineating where the cars can and can't go. And because, you know, there are lawmakers telling us which way we can turn and when. I just can't turn left whenever I want to, you know. Back to life. But he was going to stay there, and I had made a decision a long time ago that I was going to go and trade some of my time to be able to feed my face. And, you know, food and water and shelter are some really important pieces of the puzzle here. And some of the work that I've done in the past, you know, we're looking with advocates, you know, those kinds of people, like a lot of problems that we face as a human species can be solved with housing. It can be solved through housing. So I learned I'm going to do whatever it takes, and then I'm going to literally do whatever it takes to earn my place, my keep. And if for some reason, you know, I have a millionaire friend, you know, who says he's just one sickness away from bankruptcy, right? He's just one more sickness away from having to lose it all, you know. And that's just the nature of the beast, you know. We're not all immune from the wilderness. It doesn't matter. We can seem like we're living this illusion of security and safety, but we're still living in the wild. This is still a mote of dust suspended in the middle of an infinite situation, you know. And to think that we're not living in the wild at any given moment is sort of an absurdity that we've all sort of, you know, adopted. Hotel California, there you go, nice, that's a good one. There's a song on my Rebirth record called I think it's called Invite Some Friends. And let me just see, I'm going to get ready to jump here, but I wanted to share this with you. It's a good record, and I don't know if you have the capability to listen to it. It's a record called Rebirth, and it's called Invite Some Friends. There's another song that you might like called On My Way. And I've written a lot extensively and done a lot of work around that particular situation you're talking about. And placed myself there, you know, for that specific reason. So, yeah, if you get a chance to listen to Invite Some Friends, On My Way, just let me know if it's making any sense to you at all. Have a great day. So Kevin, autistic with an acoustic. Yeah, that's right. That's funny. That's good, man. Gothic bad boy. If that's not a cool YouTube handle, I don't know what is, you know. I for sure will listen. Hello, your voice and guitar are so good to me. I'm happy that that works out for you. It doesn't always work out for everybody, but it does work out for some. All right, Kevin says, have a great day, everybody. Until tomorrow. Hug a friend. Say something nice to someone. It's very simple things. We don't have a huge obligation, but we can do some pretty simple things, some pretty basic things to, and I think it all starts with ourselves, right? It just starts at home. So, hey, let me get rid of some of these things. It's like, you know, it's like some of this stuff is like not, let's remove that one. Just, let's remove, that one. I don't typically do this, but you know what? The way I look at it is we're going to keep this nice and light and lively and a pretty simple mission. So anyway, I'm keeping you way over now, so get out of here, go practice your guitar, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until we meet again, I wish you, right there, you, happy picking. All right, see you soon.